Hey, what's up you guys? It's Dorothy and welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for having the patience and bearing with me the last month of everything that's been going on. It's been so hectic and crazy and so many things have been going on, and I finally have a free moment here to sit down and film videos, and I'm so thankful for it now. We're gonna get into chapter 18 of One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus. This chapter, I've already looked ahead. It's gonna have 3 parts to it, so bear with me. I know I kind of look all kinds of weird. Still got part of my nails on from my wedding, and yeah, but let's get right into this video. This video may contain sensitive topics and foul language. If you do not wish to continue, please click off of the video now. You have been warned. Excuse me. Chapter 18, Rowan, Monday, October 15th, 4:10 p.m. Maeve pulls into the driveway seconds after Mrs. McCauley turns around. I stand rigid, my hands clenched at my sides, and my heart pounding, staring at the woman I thought was dead. Rowan? Maeve lowers her window and sticks her head out of my car. You ready? Mom and Robin are already there. Dad's trying to get off work, but he's got a board meeting. I had to do some maneuvering about why you weren't answering your phone. You're sick to your stomach, okay? That's accurate, I mutter. Nate's back is to me. His mother is talking, staring at him with rain of his eyes, but I can't hear anything she's saying. Huh? Maeve follows my gaze. Who's that? I'll tell you in the car, I say, tearing my eyes away from Nate. Let's go. I climb into the passenger seat of our Volvo, where the heat is blasting because Maeve's always cold. She backs out of the driveway, and her careful jest got my license way, talking the whole time. Mom's doing the whole mom thing where she's pretending not to be freaked out, but totally is. She says, and I'm half listening, I guess the police aren't giving much information. We don't even know if anyone else is going to be there. Is Nate coming? Do you know? I snap back to attention. No. For once, I'm glad Maeve likes to maintain broiler oven temperatures while driving because it's keeping the cold inching up my spine at bay. He's not coming. Maeve approaches a stop sign and brakes, jerkily glancing over at me. What's the matter? I close my eyes and lean against the headrest. That was Nate's mother. What was? The woman at the door just now at Nate's house? It was his mother. But Maeve trails off, and I can't tell by the sound of the blinker that she's about to make a turn and needs to concentrate. When the car straightens again, she says, but she's dead. Apparently not. I don't, but that's... Maeve sputters for a few seconds. I keep my eyes closed. So what's the deal? Did he not know she was alive? Or did he lie about it? Excuse me. We didn't exactly have time to discuss it, I say, but that's the million-dollar question. I remember hearing 3 years ago through a grapevine that Nate's mother had died in a car accident. We lost my mom's brother the same way, and I felt a lot of empathy for Nate, but I never asked him about it back then. I did over the past few weeks, though, and Nate didn't like to talk about it. He said he hadn't heard anything about his mother since she flaked on taking him to Oregon until he got the news that she died. He never mentioned a funeral or much of anything, really. Well, Maeve's voice is encouraging. Maybe it's some kind of miracle, like it was all horrible misunderstanding and everybody thought she was dead, but she really had amnesia or was in a coma. Right, I snort. And maybe Nate has an evil twin who's behind it all because we're living in a telenovela. I think about Nate's face before he walked away from me. He didn't seem shocked or happy. He looked stoic. He reminded me of my father every time Maeve had a relapse, as though an illness has been dreading had come back, and he was just going to have to deal with it now. We're here, Maeve says, pulling to a careful stop. I open my eyes. You're in a handicap space, I tell her. I'm not staying, just dropping you off. Good luck. She reaches over and squeezes my hand. I'm sure it'll be fine, all of it. I walk slowly inside and give my name to the woman behind the glass partition in the lobby who directs me to a conference room down the hall. When I enter, my mother, Robin, and Detective Mendoza are already seated at a small round table. My heart sinks at the absence of Addie or Cooper at the sight of a laptop in front of Detective Mendoza. Excuse me. Mom gives me a worried look. How's your stomach, honey? Not great, I say truthfully, slipping into a chair beside her and dropping my backpack on the floor. Rowan isn't well, Robin says with a cool look toward Detective Mendoza. She's in a sharp navy suit and a long multi-strand necklace. This should be a discussion between you and me, Rick. I can loop Rowan and her parents in as needed. Detective Mendoza presses a key on the laptop. We won't keep you long. Always better to talk face to face, in my opinion. Rowan, are you aware Simon used to have a companion website for About That where he'd write longer posts? Robin interrupts before I can speak. Rick, I'm not letting Rowan answer any questions until you tell me why she's here. If you have something to show or tell us, please get to that first. I do, Detective Mendoza says, rotating the laptop so it faces me. One of your classmates alerted us to a post that ran 18 months ago, Rowan. Does this look familiar? My mother moves her chair next to me as Robin leans over my shoulder. I focus my eyes on the screen, but I already know what I'm about to read. I've worried for weeks that it might come up, so maybe I should have said something, but it's too late now. Newsflash, LV's end of the year party isn't a charity event, just so we're clear. You'd be excused for thinking so, though, with frosh attendance at an all-time high. Regular readers, and if you're not one, what the hell is wrong with you? No, I try to cut the kids some slack. Children are our future and all that, but let me do a little PSA for one new and fleeting, I'm gonna guess, arrival to the social scene. MR, who doesn't seem to realize SC is out of her league. He's not on the market for a puppy kid. Stop with the following, it's pathetic. And guys, don't give me poor little thing had cancer crap, not anymore. M can put on her own big girl panties like anyone else and learn a few basic rules. Varsity basketball players with cheerleader girlfriends are off the market. I shouldn't have to explain this, but apparently I do. 2 beers are too many when you're a lightweight because it leads to the worst display of awkward kitchen table dancing I've ever seen. Seriously, Em, never again. If you're If that one beer makes you throw up, try not to do it in your host's washing machine. That's rude. Let's card that the door from now on, okay, LV? At first it's funny, but then it's just sad. I stay still in my chair and try to keep my face impassive. I remember that post like it was yesterday. How Maeve, who'd been giddy from her first crush and her first party, even though neither had gone exactly as planned, folded into herself after she read Simon's post and refused to go out again. I remember all the important rage I'd felt. So sorry, I've been sick. That's also why I haven't been filming. But it strains my throat a little bit. I remember all the important rage I felt that Simon was so casually cruel just because he could be, because he had a willing audience that ate it up, and I hated him for it. I can't look at my mother, who has no idea any of this had happened, so I focus on Robin. If she's surprised or concerned, she doesn't show it. All right, I've read it. Tell me what you think of the significance of this is, Rick. I'd like to hear from Rowan. No, Robin's voice cracks like a velvet whip, soft but unyielding. Explain why we're here. The post appears to be written about Rowan's sister Maeve. What makes you think that? Robin asks. My mother chokes out a furious, disbelieving laugh, and I finally sneak a look at her. Her face is bright red, her eyes burning. Her voice shakes when she speaks. Is this for real? You bring us here to show us this horrible post written by, I have to say, a boy who quite clearly had issues, and for what? What are you hoping to accomplish exactly? Detective Mendoza tilts his head in her direction. I'm sure this is difficult to read, Ms. Rojas, but between the initials and the cancer diagnosis, it's obvious Simon was writing about your younger daughter. There's no other current or past student at Bayview Phi who fits his profile. He turns toward me. This must have been humiliating for your sister, Rowan, and from what other kids at school have told us recently, she never really participated in social activities since then. Did that make you resent Simon? My mother opens her mouth to speak, but Robin puts a hand on her arm and cuts her off. Rowan has no comment. Detective Mendoza's eyes gleam, and he looks as though he can barely restrain himself from grinning. Oh, but she does. Or she did anyway. Simon unpublished the blog more than a year ago, but all the posts and comments are still recorded on the back end. He pulls the laptop back and presses a few keys, then spins it towards us, and a new window opens. You have to give your email address to leave a comment. This is yours, right, Rowan? Anybody can leave another person's email address, Robin says quickly. Then she leans over my shoulder again and reads what I wrote at the end of sophomore year. Fuck off and die, Simon. That is the end of chapter 18, part 1. I will see you guys in part 2. Bye.